always be a government person up onya kwan ye ade bia no the Supreme Court come to their aid ye use as an instrument to bully government way through mfa nko akiri kura no na no ada electoral commission na dwe say registration at district offices political parties at the court ye ne buy ho no Supreme Court hwe han mo ye de ombe ye wiansa na mo ko set date for this whole thing omoni ba mo so na aye police case.
The bone of contention here, Article 97, paragraph G and H. And the Speaker of Parliament, with the majority decision of 3-2, 2 dissenting, 3 in favor of Afenyo Markins, and the MPP caucus in Parliament. Sir, Mashibe Jafie, 4 MPs no, Wamon Saimbra, Emra Bidiomujuma said yet here. Contrary to the Speaker of Parliament, initially, what they willing, paid their standing orders, what the Etruja. Arape Ghana Fuina, lawyers is so much more here. Lawyer for class of Montias here. Na me no dear. You be funny say. Arape yanko ne hwe sansem no. Alban 15 minutes. E dia yanko.
Yeah, another way I mention what here for. Na mention Mr. Inkum. Obo adwuma. Kumsen. All the time Mr. Kumsen, yes. Yeah. All the time sending can various platforms and also for making contribution. I think they need na ye. Sebe ya, baby Ghana jina sisi o kan wa no tuma na wo ya kwayo mamboye for. And ohese papa kwasi ndio ma no oye adwuma wura se wa ya kawura ese otimi so Facebook si nanim e kan den sem but o sha se ntema e bia nka medru ha because when this whole thing started and I think that the signs were quite clear online now ye nim nipaku ana ye ne omo ye ye fence ye ne omudi dwuma but beginning no nipa kan ye no na manfo fi say usual politics but and a corner then you see them out there backing. It's all good. And several people I know are joining this whole crusade because of my victims. And one way or the other, we are all together seeking say we would flip this whole thing. Supreme Court ruling. And then the Akika who speaker and then as a forum. I'm not sure that there is a single person out Ghana whatever be the outcome of that ruling, no, a surprise, no, because I would take a sharp thought to social media and other platforms. In recent times, my culture says Supreme Court has been tagged in a certain direction. I always ruling in a phone in a month in baby echo. And there is one thing very common: always be a government person up on your quine at the biano. The Supreme Court come to your fence saying to their aid. Ye use you as an instrument to bully government way through and metimi atena a catalog a number of instances a bind they are getting away memfa unko akiri kura no na no ada electoral commission na dwe say registration at district offices political parties at the court ye ne buy ho no Supreme Court hwe han mo ye de ombe ye wiansa na mo ko set date for this whole thing omoni ba mo so na aye police case abra Domlivo president instructing say on-call retirement ye hu de see ye asem no call Supreme Court no ye tena so twen ya ma papa no call retirement and sana ye tena case no so and there has been a number of such instances as Kromama. A lot of people are raising questions. The na ultimate Ghana for nyina hwa animu this LGBTQ as the president sign or soon signing as for a matter of concern a border on social values cultural way of our society him for your demonstration civil society organize a demonstration as for your demonstration for the first time one can be asam no koto Supreme Court no till date ye yanta asam no so na no e ba ye pinche ne yate say ya share on the 19th say yakotena so akodi but such a critical matter hasn't been decided on enti yate kroma na yehu some conflict going on within parliament regarding an interpretation of a particular provision in the constitution and other standing orders abaye ade e da ho sa na amanfo go through yes it doesn't bar obi say order be court but asam no kodru court no so we had a swift response the agency Supreme Court usually responding to that particular matter. Ayete kroma enim say even Friday kra no enye day Supreme Court detenase. But they sat on the matter and within 12 hours came out with a ruling. Then it started raising eyebrow among Ghanaians. Now your Supreme Court Chief Justice say Omonsona or Musa and Semgugu Omosi when it comes to matters border on government businesses and as a forum there they can make time to make such declaration in such short period. Abra near my here Ghana for the Yentiminya Juana acquire the following week. We are ruling and near my course in Wahon. Say, yeah, Tenase na yakomu maako unu you begin to ask yourself say eba ne say na Ghana judiciary akoto gatama ne the ordinary and the average Ghanaian any respect for the court because judges here yakofa omo so monkonko tena bench yi papa tintin bi wom uhu na owa pa yes or MPP ni this particular issue was raised in the court ebi na chief justice a mistake but you see to go to the court and defend say so your party ni kra na issue ni a constitutional matter the bia meka say constitutional matter nya nkoko na de court a political party stakeholders and the court so party interest in this matter are key and you will consider in order not to be on the wrong side of the people no such inclusion no you have to omit it say be ya man for enkoka say Supreme Court ni bias because yet krom already your Supreme Court any dim papa but obotugu ye in the end ruling the Bible say ne kokoye as to whether Supreme Court were right as to whether speaker were right me that is not the issue but the issue is that yet has to see your Supreme Court na one basic institution ye here and the former and integral part of our democracy because yet hey me not sure how many people trust even the parliament. I don't know about the executive but one thing I'm very confident any say you lose that has to do with our judiciary because and as a chaos society be disintegrating as if for your last bastion there the judiciary but if you do a point where there is this notion lingering on the minds of people out there say already President Akufo-Addo has deliberately packed this court packing lawyers friends people from his law firms nipa omuye close related to the president obianka it's not a matter of qualification it's a matter of value it is a matter of principle it is a matter of respect nipa benya award this particular institution nipa be respect already conventionally we've never gone past 14 on the Supreme Court bench but the first time we've crossed 14 and the president is still making appointments as you see amenoka saying nipa mienu gu bench ye twen say parliament ye koba nyina is to get these two nominations approved by parliament to go and join them there already that notion is lingering say amount president are packing a loyalist and then na namfofo na kwakugu ho it is Supreme Court on that particular side the crowd any that respect and that kind of recognition Ghana for who any other that again yeah panela na yes yan panel nipa our known political ties and as for and then the demeanor the conduct of the posture of the even the chief justice herself or to court or more ruling and watch and akweba so no bi wa asem ase odi nkrofo bi ho fe wo sade an and I'm saying say enyo bia na wudi no ho fe ya wan kasa na wudi ho fe Supreme Court na wudi no ho fe because sa woko social media various platform ba bia Ghana for tena say have normal conversation they regard you no high esteem anymore. They don't respect it. Nana Manasa article asking a lot of critical questions as to why a LGBT case and as for Yebetuogu aqua this particular way. And he's not the only person expressing similar views. I don't want to delve into whether the Omoye at article 70, you're saying 97 G H downwards, because that power is at their bosom, whichever way they decide to put it, may not see all that we can do is to express our opinion. So I don't even want to bother waste my time go there and talk about the offense and how whether it's reasonable, unreasonable or whatever. But the fact is that we are losing the Supreme Court, we are losing the judiciary, and that is a danger. Ghana for they put here on a powder keg. You lose it is not just about the Chief Justice, a border society, a safety, your security and everything. Because can you imagine a society where people think it's a society of lawlessness? You can't trust the judiciary. And to know it's better you take the law into your own hands. Elections here, John Mahama addressing on court. Now on court, the probability that violence will come out of this election is very high. The probability that people will disagree is very high. Now somebody found a mokokano. Now a court to know another way. Why do you think they will settle? And yes, kind of tune among exactly. So and in some amount for they are not speaking from a vacuum. We have your friends saying research backed by data by a reputable research institute in this country. Aibo Ibrahim Foundation at their back. And to be a Chief Justice, you should be very much cautious and concerned. Whatever your friends saying, arrogant posture be a womu, whichever differences, bitterness be a womu are certain attempts. Be a say you are bound to defend certain people. No, you look at the data out there, you look at the research. They are telling you, say Ghana for confidence in the judiciary no depe. It has waned considerably. So it is your job to ensure that you amend the tattered image of the judiciary. That is a fact. And then the CDD recent report. Metias say opa betim dey ato ahoto mo online portal. Then you do a survey and I say a poll. Ask Ghanaians how much confidence they do have in the judiciary. Answers na benya no we yembe show. Recently, your friend said Joy FM for yebi. Na me so comment na se na akokanya. That is why the business in OSI as a chief justice should be very much concerned about said the reputation of the judiciary. No, because my culture said in an arena where justice is dispensed, it isn't so much about giving out verdict and not sitting on the matter and deciding. No, it is about the trust and confidence individuals and the citizens have in the justice delivery process, the individuals on the bench and how they conduct themselves. But at this point, we've lost all these things. So Ghana, is standing out there just gasping for a breath, not knowing what to do. So I know the day, Abisa wants to assemble the basi. That is a danger. And again, Minko Supreme Court Parliament. You see, now no TV station, me make catch almost say, whatever be the outcome of this particular ruling from the Supreme Court, inconsequential to resolving this particular matter. Because Supreme Court anyang ruling matter no MPP for decided said they will not go to the parliament to do any business, and per the speaker no so one side bar per the numbers no you form the quorum to do business but you can't take decision. So another day say court to a ruling say Afenyo marking and as a for minority majority they should go back to another day are we going to have the NDC minority also going back to parliament to sit there as a minority? They will be seen as jokers in the eyes of the people. If they go to parliament and sit there, they will be seen as jokers. Because you see, yes, obi bawa some back, obi bawa some that person will not take you serious. Because this parliament here, it is by the discretion of the speaker. And the MPP was to describe the majority. Because they are not majority. Even the fact that somebody is doing business with you doesn't make you majority. But you see, these people have acceded to that particular declaration by the speaker for all these years. But you drew a point. If you listen to the tone, the posturing of Afenyo Markin and his lies, Papaya on the Debian Semuna no Katie Hammond. So here on posturing, it doesn't show a house or say be a CD to be. So if the person consistently is proving to you that you are stupid, is the reason why you agreed to sit on the minority side. At this point, I think that they need to tell them that they are not fools. Because I am not expecting that the NDC minority will go and sit on the bench for any government business to go on. Because maybe business we are say so obi respect to you have no business respecting that person. And I think that is the already we don't know whether the speaker is going to call the house or not. So our initiative process in Accra, we know we have about 7 days. Barely we are going into elections. You have an election to win because the Omadana didn't clearly said there is no government business to be taken care of. Because another way, say government business are not a more preemptive say so urgent, and that necessitated the Supreme Court to grant Afenyo Markins your friend is saying leave now under S party. It means and at the very moment it was granted normal call na NDC seat so they could have waited for the speaker to come and make a declaration. So okay, moon sorry free seat now say whatever, but they never waited. Then they boycotted, and this is a people more telling government that there's a government business. And after all, what government business? Tax exemptions, $350 million for their friends, cronies, and allies. Amount for private bank, amount for private hotels or musi. Na Ghana for your grantee or more tax exemptions. Oh, Kroma saying Ghana ni na wako tina UK, US na sifa wako brato ne car de ba no. Oba near the tax ato so tax no board so chain. Sika no the toy na yaje. No be atam car no da come on a girlfriend and that your friend say auction car. Nti car wako bra wako tina sunu mo wanya no be no big girlfriend out on 7,000 odd nam.
No we share with traffic mo.
We share no traffic him. Na osan di watam kra ka ho mu hwe sai nka ho. That is a kind of class sema ya assigned to our politics. So sir going to parliament to do government business. No, what government business? That is a question I'm asking. Because parliament a tax exemption a grant na se for no work grant am for and other business na ka ho no. I'm not sure say it's so urgent for the MPP. And na omo boycott to parliament, So I think say the coming days, but the Supreme Court should exercise discretion, or more exercise that discretion, and they should be very mindful because make us a tetinona, men are mere judge and I met him a congress and more rulings. I'm in a camp, and you are in the room with the people. The justice is for the people, just as sovereignty in Ghana resides in the people in whose name, in whose welfare, and the powers of this Ghana no shall be exercised. No, same way in the justice, you dispense it in the name of the people, and you would dispense it, and people are revolting. People are going to social media and they are insulting you. So we are unanimous FC, and they don't want to change style. We are unanimous FC. We say, you should know, say people don't respect you no more, and you cannot leave such a tattered legacy because you are not going to be the first person to sit at the bench. Me I met here. Anya she oko Supreme Court bench na. Georgina Wood besin koye. Meboa. Mami we besin koye. Then I know a demonstration in. So for another one asen ba besin ko. So what makes you think that akwatintin besin ko? So what makes you think that you'll be there forever? The best thing you can do is to leave a lasting imprint. Imprinter ebe leave indelible way on the minds of people. Ghana for remember you for the good things you do, not the controversies you created, not the scandals you created, not the mistrust that you created, but this current situation that you will mean. I don't know. Apart from those, your friends and people, this whole thing benefit, you know, because who you be, we are independent-minded, logical, reasonable human being. Now, what happenings going on in our Supreme Court, you'll be worried because over the years, Bakachi was a partisan policy at the key central stage in Parliament. The executive abete ponkoso sebi and some hununim krasem no mudi sikedi okanya nsasema nobody will listen to you. The ankayawo the Supreme Court. And President Raya standing a hand out there, filling the bench with friends, allies, cronies, former workers in as a former. I know the day, you know. What do you expect us to do? A democracy now you see protected. It's all about the institutions. And if these institutions are being interfaced by individuals with twisted political ideology and interest, at the end of the day, you know, we are average and the ordinary Ghanaian and several in any way is the reason why you see this whole thing. Because this is not the first time a Supreme Court do ruling about. How often do you hear people talking about it? But in recent times, since Akufo-Addo took over this country, every single ruling be free Supreme Court be a point of discussion in the media. People having issues to do with it because yet the Supreme Court back actually and say, so register as a voter. You don't need your birth certificate because it doesn't prove you're a Ghanaian, but you need a passport. But passport no kwaje here Ghana ka here or birth certificate and kwaje. I know the day, you know, the whole idea was to disenfranchise a lot of people because that is the point the government and the Electoral Commission made. So the Supreme Court went there just to affirm that decision. So I know the day, you know, obi a onsi law school dana say bi nyansa ne adwenwo ne tim no tenase na or look through these rulings under a certain microscope. Na say bi omo school kra na omo nkrase rulings any emfaso be na also, and then that was where doubt started build up around your ruling. I don't know, respect will go. And at this point, you know, I see that as a danger. And the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice should be very much concerned. I don't care. Power, no, they have the right to interpret the Constitution. That is why I decided not to go there. Because the other can be a but Makacho says it's not just about interpreting the Constitution. It is about adding wisdom, common sense, and reasoning to it. And again, really no more about since the Oko Parliament. And now you can cross carpet. So cross carpet in the say yes, it's a political party. And I say Brana Yanto Swaba, you can decide not to go. But according to them, the only time Ubetimi a forfeiting will sit is when you are switching political parties. Yeah. And I know the day, you know, if somebody say, oh no, on the party, no, you'll be no independent, that's all switch a party. In that case, you know what happens. So you see, laws are meant to give clarity. Doubt be a one party or the spell. But unfortunately, this area woman, Mrano is rather building castles of doubt. Building mountains of doubt on the minds of Ghanaians. Laws that are supposed to make things simple, no, rather compounding issues, confusing a lot of people. So I know they don't what is the essence. So I think that when they go back to their thinking room, they should be mindful of things that they do, things that they say, their posturing, and how the public see them. Because my catcher say the last time I catch you, we say every revolution in this world, no, has a way of creating its own forces. So what we read about world history and for every single revolution, I see what I see to be found a way to create its own forces. The same way every war creates its own victims. But you don't be stupid to be an easy target or an easy victim of a particular war. Ghana we are yomi near magic in crane. Monsieur Obia or the Osha no. One majuma crana so you'll be target. I was all pass over you. So don't make yourself a foolish and easy target. That is the message. We must all try our best to do the right thing. Because after all, this is democracy. We are all pieces. Don't think that you are president, you are better than Obi. Rollins been 19 years. Oh, Shana was a form. Justice Atuguba at some point in time, or to bench in this no bony mo and I said John Nomho. So, and not if you expressing the opinion. John Mahama was once president, and not as an individual. You understand? So don't be there today and say, may a president, may a chief justice into the American BR. Very soon you'll be home. Okay. You'll be watching from the sidelines. I criticize Chief Justice Yoko Sofia Akufo. No, on the commoners engineering demonstration. So if you are reasonable and you are very sensible, no sir, power now is just transcend. You will come and join the common floor and the hardship, whatever the people are going through, you will be subjected to the same measure. Right. I think we should be very reasonable when we have power.
Mameno ase ora Ivan Che innocent what also Edna Green Chen susuye area Supreme Court one more recent ruling and a judgment one more ediaba now dissenting nipa mienu na one more a dissenti one court na anya adwene emumi ensan so no ekode ma complainant no and answer plaintiff no wode eba ya ebikoye 5-2 with the ruling